That's why I managed to stay single this whole time, you know?
You are fake news.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Are you sober now?
No, yeah. I'm never, but I have moments of
That's what she said.
These nuts. Got him! Got him!
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Just gonna send it.
You get in my face with that, I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. You piece of shit. You fucking goddamn fucker.
Fucking hell yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Give me your fucking money!
Yes, Daddy.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
That's why I managed to stay single this whole time, you know?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!
Your trash, kid.
Give me your fucking money!
All right, we did it. So here we are, and here we go. I do apologize that there's a little bit of an echo in this room because it's not quite sound treated yet, but welcome to the new arena. Episode 44, guys. Thanks for being here. Everybody's on. I see you're already getting chatty in the commenty section. So thanks for doing that. Actually, I'm scrolling back quite far. You guys are definitely getting chatty in the comments. That's awesome as usual. For anybody that's new, I am Joshua A. Farmer. This is Artistic Freedom, episode 44 of the Q&A series. So far, it's only been, I love that sound. It's only been a Q&A series. Apparently, we're staying sober today, guys. Sometimes it's worth it, you know? So this is a Q&A series where you guys ask me anything. I put it on social medias, and I give you the chance to say, well, I say, ask me anything, and you do. And sometimes you really do. If you guys have watched this before, you know that I usually talk too much and let the cigar go out. If you've watched it, you know it gets spicy in the comment section. You also know that I love my sound effects. I'm gonna have to be careful not to play the music part too much because even though I love it, it always strikes me for like copyright stuff.
That's why I managed to stay single this whole time, you know?
All right, so let me know what you guys think about the new set. The new room is pretty fucking rad. It serves me really well, and it's awesome. I'm going back on the comments, and I see you guys are already getting spicy with the food porn comments, and that's always awesome. Although I just ate and have a nice full belly and now enjoying a nice tasty cigar. You guys are obviously doing the comment section right, so what's up? It's almost like you guys are friends, even though most of you probably never met. Let's see here. I'm trying not to miss anything. You guys know I love to go back and read the comments. Mom's on here. What's up, Mom? Love you. Dambria, Ashley's on here. Let's see who else. Kimmy's on here. Christy, hello. Brody Jade, as always, faithful and true. Amanda, what's up? How are you, Amanda? Hope you're well. So you guys know this is the comment or the Q&A, and being it's a Q&A, I will get to your guys' questions. And of course, if you submit them here now live, ask me anything you want. Most of the time I answer them. If not, well, just sit tight, and then we'll get to the ones that were submitted online. Root beer. Who doesn't fucking love root beer? A lot of people actually, and I'm really glad because I can always find it in the stores. Mama saying hello. Hello, mother. Okay, so Chrissy's asked, "What am I smoking?" This is actually a Hugo. This is a pretty good one. I've actually had this one many times before, but this is been sitting in my humidor for a long time, and it's the legend. It's the man, the myth, the legend. That's pretty fucking cool. Ironically, it's also the last cigar in my humidor. So we're going to have to stock up. Mom is asking, what was for dinner, Joshua? If I could only tell you, Mom, it was amazing. It was super fucking good. And I will tell you this, there was like cream corn involved. Incredible. So thank you for asking. What was for dinner tonight for you, Mother? And if Dad's watching, I'm assuming it was the same meal. Okay, so we're going to get to the first comments, guys. We're going to get right into it. This will probably be actually the fastest it's ever taken for us to get to the comments or to the responses to questions. So let's see what we can do here. I like getting to these because it's, of course, especially for me, it's just always fucking fun. I did well today and made sure that my phone was at least somewhat charged so that I wouldn't die in the middle of this. Last time I was ill prepared. By the way, I have more questions this round than ever before. So thanks to you guys who submit them. You know, I always enjoy it and I always appreciate it. But some of them I might not get to. But I will say that I will do my best. And if not, we'll get to them next time. So you guys ask your questions now. Ask them here live if you like. And I will also answer ones that come up on the screen. So Christy's asking a good question. Don't know how to answer it. I'll just fucking eat it. I'm not really sure. Mom's saying peanut butter toast. How can you go wrong? How can you go wrong? Let's see. Okay. Let's do this. First question. And this was submitted on Facebook. So thank you guys, of course, always for joining in there. This is a good question, a question I get referred to all the time, especially considering that I have a lot of apprentices. If you guys know me and know me in my business, in my shop, my studio that I'm running, I have a lot of people there that I'm teaching. I have more people apprenticing than I do actually tattooing. And for obvious reasons, I love to teach, I love to share, and I love to see people get better. I love when people go from, not being able to do something to putting in the work to figuring out how to do it. It's a lot of fun. Side note there. Whenever I do apprenticeships, one thing I've done it enough to know now that it's very obvious that tattooing isn't the issue. I'll say it really. I'll try to say it really directly, as direct as I can. Whenever somebody has like a personal issue or some sort of personal, let's say, characteristic flaw that's getting in the way of their art or their tattooing, it almost always shows up during their apprenticeship before they even start tattooing, before they start drawing, before they do any of that. Just in cleaning and dealing with customers and doing business stuff, you can always see like this little cue or this little clue into maybe some of the characteristic flaws that they're going to have to get over once they start tattooing. So some of those things might be, for example, I got a girl in the shop that works really fast when she draws, and I knew that she was going to do that while tattooing. So I try to start nipping that in the bud before she starts tattooing, so that when she does start to tattoo and inevitably try to do it too fast, then it's not new news to her. So it's always interesting that it's more personal development than it is like skill acquisition. Anybody can develop the skills, but it's the unlearning of the past behaviors that you have to get over a lot of times, almost all the time. I'll put this over here so I don't spill it. Hopefully I don't spill it. So the first question is, if seeking an apprenticeship, do you recommend them bringing a portfolio of their artwork? What else? It's a very, very good question, especially if you guys are at all interested in an apprenticeship or ever. This will actually be even good advice for anybody who's seeking out learning anything from anybody, because it's kind of, learning how to tattoo is going to be the same way you learn how to do anything. It's a different craft than what maybe other stuff. It's specific to tattooing, but the generalities of it all are pretty basic and cross platforms to any industry. One of the biggest distinction is the difference between apprentices or let's say one of the big distinctions between an apprenticeship and getting a job, for example, is that apprenticeships, you're going to be learning from somebody who already knows what they're doing, hopefully from a master. And what's going to happen is you're going to have to learn from them at not only your own speed, because you can't just retain information, you have to actually practice and build the behaviors. But you're going to have to learn all kinds of new shit because you're no longer an employee. You're now going to be being trained by somebody to work for yourself. And that's the biggest shift. So in seeking an apprenticeship, what else do I recommend they bring besides their artwork is notepads. So they have to bring in a portfolio. Matter of fact, it's a new policy of the shop is if somebody comes and doesn't have a portfolio and they say, I want to learn, or I want to tattoo, or I want you guys to teach me, or an apprenticeship, everybody in the shop is already trained to tell or respond to these people coming in with respect, but letting them know if you don't have a portfolio put together, then Josh isn't even going to talk to you. It's not worth his time. If you haven't even taken the time to be as professional as you can, he's not going to waste his time to help you. It's pretty common sense. If you want to be a tattoo artist and you walk into a shop, have no portfolio, it seems kind of silly. I mean, if I knew that by 16, I think you guys could figure it out by the time you're 19 to 25-ish. So that's a good question. And then what else she's saying in terms of bringing while starting an apprenticeship, I would say what else they should bring, and this is my best advice for anybody seeking an apprenticeship at all. I'm going to do my best not to let this go out, guys. So if you're going to seek an apprenticeship, do these things first. And this is going to be quite a few things. So you'd have to write these down, which is one of the reasons why you have to bring notepads. If you're going to be my apprentice, you have to write shit down because there's going to be a lot of information you're not going to keep. So you got to write it down so you can refresh it. So I don't have to keep saying it over and over and over. So here it goes. Number one, you have to come in knowing the artist, knowing the shop, knowing the history. Search them on YouTube, search them on Google. Do all of your research. Research them like you're a detective. Find out who these artists are, who these people are, what their shop is, what the history is. If they have a YouTube channel, if they have a Twitter, if they have a Facebook and Instagram, an Instagram for the artist, Instagram for the shop. Get familiar with them and start becoming a, let's say, a fan or a client or consume their content before you even go into the shop. Do not go into a shop. And this, I think, is true with any industry. Don't go in saying, hey, this place is cool. Who are you guys? I want to learn from you. You don't even know who they are. It's super disrespectful. So don't do that. Come in already warm with the shop itself. Make yourself familiar to them and treat them like people. Don't treat them like it's all about you. Like, oh, I want to learn how to tattoo. I'm special. Yeah, everybody thinks they're fucking special. They always come in with their art, wanting someone to look at it and go, oh my God, you're amazing. You're probably not that fucking amazing. You're probably, even if you are amazing, have all these other things you need to work on. So be humble enough to say, I want to learn. I'm coming in familiar. I'm supporting you guys on your channels, on your YouTube, on your comment sections. I've shared your work. I've promoted your work. I've brought you customers. I've came in and been a customer. Do that before you walk into a shop and say, I want to learn here. It's just disrespectful to go in, especially with no portfolio. Mom's on here asking what's in the portfolio. Great question. And everybody asks that, especially students in the classes. So what is in, I wonder if this microphone smells like cigars. That's fucking rad. What is in a portfolio? So it's 7 to 12. For me, I require 7 to 12 pieces of absolutely finished physical work. If it's digitally made, that's fine. It has to be printed out in a physical portfolio, front to back. It has to be finished pages of work. It can't be something that when I look at it, it looks like, yeah, maybe you didn't spend time on it or you didn't finish it. Your 7 to 12 pages of your best finished work with your best first and so on and so forth all the way to the end. And, don't overwhelm somebody with 20 to 50 pictures. Someone like me who's busy, I don't have time for that. I have zero time to sit there and see all of your work. And that's not to be disrespectful. It's to be respectful of others' time and my respect towards their time. I can't sit and look and talk to your art for 50 pages is too much. So that's a good point to make. And a good question, Mom. Thank you for asking. So what's in a portfolio? A finished book of your best work, start to finish. Your best should be first, 7 to 12 pages, and presentable. Let's see here. Yes, and Justine McKenzie's on here saying, yeah, you're not letting me into my next class without one. So McKenzie's coming to a few of the classes, and thank you for participating, of course. We love having you. And a few times that she showed up, she still does not have a portfolio. So I even told her to the classes, although she's not an apprentice, she doesn't work for us. You know, we've never met her outside of the shop, acquainted only professionally, if you will. And I mean that, again, respectfully. She's still, if she's going to keep coming to the class and learning and showing up, you have to take action, right? One of the parts of the class is to teach people how to be executioners, not just talkers and thinkers and fucking dreamers. Let's really make shit. So Justine, aka McKenzie, has to bring a portfolio next time, even though she's not one of my apprentices. She's going to come to the class. I already told her last time, don't show up again. I'm going to kick you out if you don't have a portfolio. So you should have that, especially if you're an artist. And guys, too, always, guys and girls, folks, jump in here, jump into the comments. You know, always feel free to ask these questions. So, or expand on them too if you have more questions regarding this. So I'll answer them best I can. The next one is, you look extra handsome today. Oh, all right. So, okay, my question is your Facebook. I don't know what that means. You look extra handsome today. That's really cool. Thank you for that. You guys can thank my mother for that. So thank you, Mom. Compliments to you. Compliments to the chef. Okay, I'm definitely not reading the next comment either. I don't scan these most of the time, so let's do this here. Let's go to the next one. It says, from a scale of 1 to 100, how excited are you that your family is coming soon? Well, that's actually a really great way for me to bring up that I get to see my family soon, because the last time that I attempted to see my family didn't work out because of the weather. It was impossible to reach them, considering they're from afar. But I'm really pumped. And Mom, since you're watching this, we're definitely getting everything prepared best we can to have you here and have the family here. So we're really fucking pumped. Okay. Let's go to the next one. So this one, I think, is coming from Instagram. So here we go. Instagram, these are the Ask Me Anything. And somebody is asking, when is your birthday? Let's see if anybody on here knows. Mom, you can't cheat, so don't respond. But, well, it would be cheating if you respond. Does anybody on here know my birthday? Maybe without giving it away. What's my star sign? And here we go to the next one. So see if you guys know my birthday. The next one is, what do you value more in friendships? Fuck, these are also good questions. I like where you guys go with these. This is cool. This is really good. So, what do you value more in friendships? It's really, really simple what I value in friendships. It's respect. You know, I accept people for who they are. Doesn't always mean I accept them in my life, but I do accept that they are who they are. I don't try to, it's easy enough to get seduced by people for many reasons and get sucked into whatever they want you to believe about them. And they might genuinely actually believe that's who they are as well. So there's a lot of masks being worn. And so I respect within a friendship. I value respect, and vice versa. That's something I know I can give. That's my biggest, and that's really with any relationship, but with friendships, if someone doesn't respect themselves, people around them, women, children, their parents, their friends, their family, myself, my family, I don't fuck with that shit. If somebody's disrespectful towards their own family, I'm fucking out. So it's a respect thing, first and foremost. Let's see here. Yes, Heather does know. So there we go. Heather and Brody both got it. Heather, that's kind of cheating too, because your husband's birthday apparently is almost the same. But that's totally cool. You know what? You fucking got it. I'm going to give you applause. Thank you. And it's really weird to think, Mom, that you say that you remember bringing me into the world and taking my first breath, because for me, it seems like my whole life, obviously it's eternity ago, but for you, it probably is very memorable. And yeah, that's probably very interesting, because I feel the same way about my kids, especially when I saw Evan during his birth and him taking his first breaths, and then seeing him now as a grown man. It's pretty fucking cool. And Kim is absolutely right. So it's party time. I'm going to turn that down a little. That's actually true, that my best friend Sheldon's birthday is exactly the same day. So that's pretty cool. Although he's older than me, the days are the same, the days of the year. Let's see here. Okay, so next question is going to be, and by the way, that question I must say, what do you value more in friendships, is really good. I think people value lots of things, but if you say, what do I value most? Again, it's the respect thing. Tell me if you guys disagree. If there's something else that to you is more important, because I even think respect trumps love by far. I would much rather be in a relationship with somebody, even if it was romantic, professional, or personal, or friendship, or buddies, or homies, whatever, with respect than love. I would choose respect all day, although both is great. And I think it's inevitable if you have respect for each other. But I think that respect is it. And let me know if you guys think that there's something about that. It'd be interesting. Somebody also is asking, this is a good one. This is the same person. Actually, quite a few from the same person. Totally fine. Do you ever, this, she probably means, do you ever have the same reoccurring dream? What do you think it means? Yes, I think most people do. I think probably all people do. I think everybody has a reoccurring dream. This thing is smoking super funky. Can't always have it all right. The reoccurring dream, I'd tell you what it is. It's nothing very significant. If I told you, it wouldn't feel significant, but I've had it my whole life. I think it just, what dreams really in the end just are is your brain's, I'm no expert, so this is just my opinion. But I think it's dreams, especially reoccurring ones, are just dreams that had strong neurological connections from whenever they started that were impactful enough that they keep showing up in your dream state, which is a very unconscious state. So you have, it's a very abstract state, and depend on how deep you dream and how you dream and how you sleep. I think that has a lot to do with whether or not you experience reoccurring dreams. I definitely have very many of them. I think mine just means that as a kid, I probably visually saw something very impactful, and it's reoccurred in my dreams forever. I'll tell you what it is, although it kind of feels like it's robbing it of its power just because it doesn't do it justice, but it's a dream of a tree that I walked to the back of, and there was a stairwell up it into a door that was being guarded by like some bright wizardry looking light, and it wouldn't let me in. So I kept wanting in, and it just wouldn't. I wanted in so bad. And then the front door, I went back down the stairs to the front of the tree, and there's this little tiny rabbit door that I couldn't fit in. Although I could see in, I wanted to get in. I just remember this feeling of wanting to be part of what was happening inside this tree so bad. And I looked in, and there was like people in there, or like characters and cartoons, and I think it was Chippendales. The Chippendales, is that what it's called? Chippendale? It's like the Munchkins or Chipmunks or something. And they were in there. It was like a Disney kind of, I don't know, theatrical thing going on. And that was it. That was the dream. I've had it ever since I was a kid. It's very strange. Okay. Let's go to the next one. What do you need more of in your life? Other than this being my last cigar, what do I need more of in my life? You're not going to like my answer, typical Josh answer, but I'll try to answer it twice because sometimes I feel like I'm doing a disservice by answering it so simply. Nothing. I need more of nothing. But if I can continue, if that's what you mean, you need more of, like in terms of volume, or more of in terms of frequency. And frequency, I just need more of my family. I need more days, sunsets, sunrises, going to sleep, waking up, going to work, just doing the same old shit, just doing the things I love, living the life I built, the life I designed for myself, that I enjoy very much, and I appreciate very much. So what do I need more of in my life? That. If I could be more specific and be a little selfish and needy, I would say some TLC, human contact. I pretty much stay busy and wean that out of my life probably the best I can. But it doesn't always work, thank goodness, but I think physical contact is probably more important than I realize. And when I do time to time receive it, it's quite remarkable, and it's not often. So I would say that would be something nice if I got more of. But truthfully, you're saying, what do you need more of in your life? I don't need anything. I'm just thankful for everything I've gotten to this point. But good question. I like it. Next one, what life experiences has helped shape who you are? Man, this is a good one. Okay, first, before I answer that, I'm going to go up here. Ashley's saying, I'll choose loyalty/respect over love if I had to choose. I'm with you 100% on that. Mom saying, respect all day if you are someone who can be respected. Yes, 100%. That's really, really cool. Christy, I'm guessing you're meaning alone time, meaning you need more of that. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Yes, alone time is wonderful. I get plenty of it. I very much center my life around having my creative space for myself. Hence the reason why I've built this place, and hope you guys enjoy it. It's actually this is going to expand quite a bit. This is just me in my first stages of it. Can't even really see a whole lot of it at this point, but it's going to get better. So again, the question is, what life experiences have helped shape who you are? Man, there's so many. I could rattle off a few, I guess. What life experiences have helped shape who you are? Some of these, I mean, of course, with respect. I hope it sounds that way, but I always am careful not to bring disrespect to my family or make anybody feel shameful. But life experiences that were hard and rough are usually the ones that shape you. So I'll say some of them, generally speaking. As a little kid, watching the people in my family being, treated pretty poorly growing up was really impactful, because all I wanted to do was love them, care for them, and become eventually the kind of man who would do to them the way they deserve to be done to, instead of the way I saw them treated growing up. That is, of course, until my stepdad came along at 9, 10 years old, and then he took that place. Fun fact is, when my stepdad moved into our lives, David, who watches this time to time, that when he came into our lives, I remember asking my mom if he could sleep in my room. Like, I was pumped. He was moving his stuff in. I go, he could put his bed in my room. That'll be cool. And I didn't quite realize what was going on at the time. I was a kid. Well, I know my mom remembers because she brings it up. And I remember very clearly where I was standing in the house looking up at her saying, I'm excited. Like, he could move into my room. That shaped my life forever, because I finally saw. So I'll give you a couple. I'll kind of rattle them off because these are good ones. Seeing my stepdad treat my mom wonderfully. I've never heard him, even away from her, and let's say, outside the home, outside the family, while we're at work or while we're doing construction jobs together or side jobs on the weekends, fishing, whatever it may be. I've never heard my father say a negative thing about my family, much less my mother, my whole life, which was stark differences between the men that were in her life and our life before that to the life we now have, which is remarkable. That is, and it's been 30 something, I think, plus years that he's been around. And I've never heard him say anything ill about our family, about my sisters, about my mother especially. And that's actually really fucking remarkable. The next one that shaped my life would be my grandfathers. I would say definitely watching them build things, make things, do art, sing, perform in life, just in general, building anything from cabins to houses to painting their rooms and making it a cozy home for their wives, or at least my Grandpa John for his wife, and making her happy. And, seeing men in my life do masculine things was really, really fucking impactful. Seeing my sisters grow up to be the kind of ladies that, my family, my mom paved the way for, the example of being, a mother. Seeing my sister step up and do that, oh my God, it's incredible. Seeing my oldest sister have a baby and actually, a healthy child, and him, little E, seeing him grow up, it's a miracle to me. There's a lot to that story of why, but I'll just leave it at that those are the life experiences that really fucking shaped who I am, when I realized that real miracles are true. Miracles are actually real. And definitely not to give up hope on things, because the things that you think might not ever work out, you'll be surprised every once in a while sometimes do. So we should have a light go off. That was weird. Very strange. What if that's on a timer? Got a remote, so don't worry about it, guys. Ha, gotcha. All right, let's get to the next one. There's a lot there. That's a really good question. We should probably revisit that sometimes. Yeah, I hope that wasn't too deep for all of you guys. Mom's on here saying there were some tough times, and I appreciate all of them. Matter of fact, they prepared me for the tougher times that would come later on in my life that I've experienced. Thank God I've experienced those things as a young person with the love and care and support of a family, because as a man dealing with some of the hard shit you'll deal with later on as an adult, it really prepared me for those things best it could. And I think without my parents being who they were, I don't know, I would not be at all where I am today. So this is pretty cool that I had that. I was trying not to drop that. I knew it was gone. It's hard to do this like with a microphone right here in the way too. It's all right. Self-Ash. All right, let's go to the next one. Tell us about a time you did something embarrassing, if any. So I've said this before on here. If you guys have ever heard the treadmill story, if you guys want to hear the treadmill story again, I'll tell it. If you haven't heard it, then let me know if you guys would like to hear it. Maybe you've already heard it before, so I don't know if I have to say it again. And Kylie is on here asking, do you ever take your hat off? Yeah, time to time I wear beanies, and sometimes I take my hat off. I had my hat off quite a bit this afternoon, relaxing. It's like saying, do you ever take off like hair, nails, makeup, clothes, eyelashes, lips, makeup, tattoos, kind of thing. It's like part of who I am. Okay. This is a good one from one of my apprentices. This is very interesting. This is a question coming in from Instagram. Why do you hate blue so much? What did it ever do to you? That's cute. I don't actually know if she really means it. Like, why do I hate blue? I just genuinely don't enjoy the color. I think it's ugly. It's really cool in the sky, really cool in the water, really cool in nature. But I do not enjoy blue in my day-to-day life at all. Matter of fact. Mom says, I have not heard the treadmill story. Well, I lived with you when it happened, so I guess I do have to tell it. Ashley's saying she doesn't think she heard it, so I guess I have to let it loose. We're going to have to let that treadmill story loose again. It's so far back in the past that it no longer...
No, God!
It no longer hurts. So it's been long enough that I can tell it. Thank fucking God, because it was a time where I would have never told the story. Let's do our best not to let this thing go out. I would really like to smoke this all night. This thing is making my evening. After a nice meal, something to drink, a good day, hard work, good friends, good family. You guys being here with me, I say it every time and I mean it every fucking time. You guys being here with me means a lot to me. I really enjoy it. I like doing this. Eventually I would like to do episodes. I would like to conjure up your guys' help with episodes as well. Don't worry, I'll get to the treadmill story. But I would like to ask you guys if there's ever anything more you'd like to see out of these episodes, whether it's Q&A stuff or renditions of it or specific videos. You hear that, you watch a YouTube video and people always say, if there's something else you want to see, let me know. I'll get into it. If there's anything you want to know more of, then let me know. I'll make a video on it. And I mean that. Like if you guys have any input on some of the stuff I'll be making in the near future, it'd be kind of cool to hear from you what you would like to see more of or something that's different maybe as well. Okay, let's go here. The treadmill story. Fuck, it hurt. It was painful, physically and emotionally. Okay. Without further ado, I'm like 18-ish. Mom remembers when I was getting baptized, I was going to the gym a lot. I was around that time. I drove my car to the gym. I was trying to impress a girl, which is a terrible,
No, God!
terrible idea. And
that's why I managed to stay single this whole time, That's why.
Yeah. So anyway, I tried to impress this girl. There was a treadmill right in front of her. She was on the stepper behind the treadmill. And I thought it'd be cool to get on the treadmill and start running because I'm a pretty strong runner, especially back then. If you guys don't know where this is going, get creative. So this treadmill's empty in front of her. It wasn't the only treadmill that was available in said room, but I decided to go. And so I saw the treadmill. I walked over to it and I stepped on it and was about to go running and try to show off a little. So I got on the treadmill and it was spinning already. And I didn't know it because it was loud. I was sweaty. Everything's going on. I'm trying to be a cool guy. I'm trying to impress this girl. She's on the treadmill behind me, or I'm sorry, on the stepper above me. I step on the treadmill. It's going full blast and I didn't even see it or hear it. So I step on it. It slams me to the treadmill. It skins my face, the side of my nose, my cheekbones. It shoots me into the fucking stair stepper behind me, which the girl was walking on that I was trying to impress. It smashes me into it. She turns it off, stops. Everybody looks at me. I stood up. I'm bleeding. It fucking mangled me like a rag doll. And I just got up and I literally walked out. I never went back to that gym. I left. And it was thank goodness that my car keys, whenever I bring my keys to the gym, I tie them to my drawstring. So I just got in the car and left. I never returned back to Nelson's Nautilus, Oregon City, top of the hill. I never returned back to there again. Anyway, so there it is, Mom. There's back to there again. Anyway, so there it is, Mom. There's the treadmill story. Ashley's saying, have you ever lit that cigar with a wood match? My pop says it tastes better. The butane changes the taste of the cigar. So that's coming from a 65-year-old man. A lot of people say that, and my honest opinion is I'm not fancy. I like a cigar. I like whiskey. If it's straight, it's not flavored, doesn't have anything in it, I'm fucking happy. So I'm easy to impress. I'm a simple guy. But yes, wood matches are typically better. You strike a match, you let it burn off the sulfur, and you get down to the wood, and then you light it with that part of the match. That keeps the butane or the match taste out of your cigar for sure. I personally think that butane torches burn so hot that by the time these things get to the actual cigar, you're really just getting mostly flame. I have never personally noticed a difference. Maybe one day I will. I think it's more of an event thing. It's more of a calming thing. It's like lighting a pipe. You want to do that with a match. Lighting a cigar, showing it respect. I don't know. It's like taking care of something, you know? It's like buying something nice to take care of the things you enjoy. I think that's a sophisticated way of doing it. But by no means am I against any ways of doing it. I'll light this shit with I've lit it with pieces of paper lit by candles because my lighter went out. And so I've lit it with stovetops. I don't care how. I'll do it with butane. I'll do it with, anything with lighters, matches. It's all good. Ashley is saying she's literally done this before. That's awesome. I'm really proud of you. Thank you so much for saying that, because now I don't see them so long. So that was my treadmill story. Let's see. I'm going to read a few more. Well, this is too late. Somebody's asking, what do you want to eat? What do I want to eat? If that's just in general, what do I want to eat? Cheeseburgers and fries. I fucking love, if somebody's really buying, then always just meat. Any meat whatsoever. Actually, I don't know if you guys know this. This is really interesting. Are any of you guys familiar with how breathing out your nose versus breathing out your mouth affects your facial structure and overall physical health? Is anybody familiar with that? Yes or no? I'm just curious before I respond to that. So do you guys know the difference between mouth breathing and nose breathing in terms of your physical health, but also your facial structure? Has anybody heard about this at all? Just let me know. So I'm going to read. So what do I want to eat? Just meat, guys. That's it. I'm very thankful. So also on Facebook, someone is saying, very thankful you have a course teaching people the ins and outs of the tattoo business. I think it's really fucking cool to simply just create things you wish you had that didn't exist when you wanted them to exist, when you started something and you didn't have it, the tool that you were looking for, or the people or the support you're looking for, to grow up to become that. Like people say, be the change you want to see in the world. There's something to that. Creating these courses, if you guys aren't aware, it's just me teaching typically younger people. It doesn't have to be, but it usually is. Younger people about the industry, younger people about tattooing and business and marketing and strategy and artistic abilities and freedom, and what it means to be a creative person, what it means to be an artistic person, what it means to be a business person, a leader, a teacher, a mentor, a mentee. Mentee is a real word. So that's what's really cool about the classes. I'm able to make something I wish I always had, and it's working, and people appreciate it. Mackenzie, if you're still watching this, you'll vouch for it that she appreciates it, and I appreciate you. And everybody who comes is always super cool, and it teaches me a lot. I really learn and get a lot from it. I get a lot of joy from doing it and teaching these young people a craft or a skill or a tool. In a world where it's easier to get into tattooing than ever before, you just plug in machines now. You just click them in, like you don't have to build them. You don't have to make needles anymore. You just, buy them. You don't have to mix inks anymore. You just buy them. There's tutorials. There's intro shit online now, which we never had. So getting into it now is way fucking easier. So if it took me 15 years to do something, the kids today, if they're paying attention, should take a matter of years, maybe sometimes 3, 4 to 7 years to do what I did in 15, 20 years, because things have massively changed. Some people feel bad about that and then feel negative towards it. I really don't care. It's just reality. Like I said before, I always like to enjoy the world the way it is. And I like to try to understand the way it actually is, not the way I'd like it to be. So I want to see it for what it is, not what I want it to be. So the world's changing, tattooing's changing, and it's way easier to get into now. I mean, technically you buy a kit, do it at home, learn on YouTube. You can do that, and you can be great, and you can do amazing things. I'm not recommending it, but it is absolutely a possibility, and people do it all the fucking time. All right, Dambria's back. What's up, Dambria? She's back. Time to get spicy. Let's do that. So do it in the comment section. Dambria is saying you like surf and turf. Yeah, for sure. I love seafood. I'm a huge fan of food, especially meat. I just fucking love that shit. Any kind of meat besides pork. Not a big fan of pork, and I don't like most gamey birds. Not interested. Okay. Mandy says, who doesn't love a good burger and fries? Yes, 100%. I'm with you on that one. Yeah, if you don't love a good burger and fries, then that's awesome. Just stay out of my way. Fucking just let me have it. Mandy, I wish I could say something fancy, but I'll tell you what I'm drinking because I'm keeping it cool tonight. It's been a long week. It's going to be a really long week. It's going to be a really long year. It's going to be a long life, right? Cheers to that. This is what I'm drinking. I fucking love this shit. It's wonderful. Well, Mom, when you come visit very soon, we're going to Chico's. No doubt. Okay, here we go. Trying to read these. I don't think they're in order, so I'm trying to kind of scan them for a second. I don't think I got all of these, so I'll try to read it. Oh, I see. Someone's saying, but only tattooed a handful of times. Anywho, thank you for providing guidance and opportunity. Thankful because it's scary out there and people lead clients into thinking they are artists. That's scary. That is scary. That's a big deal. People posing as tattooers are competent at any career, but especially in tattooing because it's so fucking permanent and risky in terms of disease. It's scary when, like, how do you know somebody knows what they're doing? Like, how would you guys answer that? What would you say is a way you could tell somebody's competent, good, or professional? Someone's clean and sterile and qualified. They're artistic, they're creative, they have experience. How the fuck do you know? Like, how do you actually tell? I mean, you could say, why just look at their work? If their work's good, they must have those things, right? Not necessarily. It's scary. It's very risky. It's very important to educate people on these types of things because how can you tell if somebody's actually professional and gives a fuck about what they're doing? It's very, very difficult. You know what? I got to all those questions pretty fucking quickly, guys. 45 minutes in, and I answered all the questions with one exception. And I actually really like this. Is fucking cool. I'm doing pretty good not letting this go out. I have to like stop. I have to force myself to like slow down and stop. It's kind of nice because, well, I don't do that very often. It's almost like silence. If I just let silence happen in here. Does that get weird? Very, very relaxing. It's very nice. So what's really great is I get tons. You can't see it. It's not going to expose for it. Actually, you know what? I can do this. Well, just know that my screen shows a fucking ton of questions on here. There's many more questions. I probably cannot get to all of them, but I will use them. There's actually 2 screenshots full of questions. I'll get to what I can. If you guys ask them here in the comment section, do so. I do my best to always address you guys. And if I don't get to them all tonight, then we'll get to the rest of them later. We'll get to the rest of them another time, maybe next week. But these are pretty good. These are going to be fun. So anyway, Amanda's saying research their work word of mouth. That's a good way to know if somebody's at least good. But how do you know they're professional? How do you know that they know what they're doing, that they're sterile and clean, that they're professional, meeting requirements and basic health standards, like basic health practices? How could you possibly know that? It's a genuine question because, I mean, I have my answers, but I think it's kind of hard for people to figure that out and tell. Mandy, sorry that my answer about drinking root beer is not that exciting, but thank you for asking anyway. But yes, Amanda, I do think that researching their work and word of mouth is it. That's really, really important, and it's imperative that you do that. Otherwise, you can really find yourself in a bad situation. That's great. Heather's saying, I'm playing a game that every time you take a puff, I take a drink of water. Well, let's see who can win this game. I actually should drink more water, so hats off to you. I'm trying not to let it go out. It's hard because usually by the time you get to this point, if you've smoked a little funky, You guys can see I'm smoking it. It's kind of burning a little bit awkward. It wasn't exactly stored right. This is also the last cigar in my humidor. Usually if that's the case, you don't want that to be true because it doesn't quite hold the humidity and the, not just the temperature, but yeah, the humidity. The climate isn't exactly prime when the cigar humidor is low. So I need to buy more, many, many more. I need to fill that thing up. Okay. Yes, Mom. Good thing it's not alcohol, Heather. Yes, good thing you're not drinking alcohol every single time I take a puff. Water is much better. It's like statistically 80% of Americans are walking around dehydrated, which is terrible. It's one of the best, healthiest things you could do is good sleep, good water, good sunlight. Most people don't get that, and they try to do protein shakes and vitamins and gym and all these other things, but they don't get good light, good sunlight. They don't get adequate sunlight. They don't get adequate water, and they don't get adequate sleep. Those things are really good for your health. Cigars are also really good for your health if you guys want one. Okay, so Mom says that cigar seems like a workout. It usually is eventful. Like if it was just me hanging out by myself, it's just really calming. I like to enjoy it when I'm with you guys because it's my only downtime. Otherwise, I'm fucking chicken with its head cut off. But it is, yeah, this is wonderful. I love it. And it tastes so good. Okay, so the next question. These are going to be fun. These are questions that I get often, at least questions regarding this type of stuff, outdoor stuff, hiking, backpacking, adventuring. So this is a good one. And I will just say right away, it's Dambria. Dambria, thanks so much. Absolutely thank you for sending me so many great questions and responses and comments and whatnot. So I really appreciate them. They're awesome. And she was asking, what mountain range is your favorite to explore? Okay, my favorite mountain range to explore. I have to answer that really honestly. And that's kind of hard to do. Wow. My favorite mountain range. Fuck. Favorite? I mean, I guess the Sierras. That's not really, I mean, that's a big area, but the Sierras, of course, that's it, if there's one answer. If I could say anywhere within it, it's most likely the Silver Mountain Range. If it's not the Silver Mountain Range, probably Dinky Wilderness. The top of Dinky Wilderness, Dinky Lakes, Thousand Island Lake, and I think it's Island Lake. Yeah, I think it's Island Lake at the top of Dinky. Those places are, that's it. That would pretty much be it for me. Yeah, that's where I explore the most. So anywhere in the sort of Edison area, the Sierra Scenic area, yeah, really anywhere in the Sierra National Forest, really all the mountain ranges within there, that's it. That's exactly where I like to go. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those areas or not. Christy's saying, take it easy, Puffin. I don't know how that works. It's a cigar. It's meant to be smoked. Kim's on here saying, hi, Dabria. Oh, yeah, you guys met. That's pretty cool at the shop. Brody's saying, where's sister? Yeah, that's a really, really good question. Where's sister? Ashley's saying, I'm sure there's a few faves for different reasons. Yeah, of course there would have to be, right? There's so many wonderful places. That's for sure. There's so many for definitely different reasons, but for just pure peace and tranquility, that's a good word to use for this place, is the Silver Mountain Range. Going up to, I've said it so many times before, but it's such a dreamy spot. Graveyard Lakes, Devil's Bathtub, the Silver Mountains, Devil's Peak, or Graveyard Peak, I'm sorry. Gosh, it's so wonderful. It's such a fucking rad place. It's hard to get to. You have to be really conditioned for the most. I mean, you have to be relatively conditioned. It's very difficult. So that's a good question. I really enjoy that stuff. This is the next one. Do you have a survival guidebook just in case you get lost, or what do you use in case of emergencies? That's a loaded question. Do you have a survival guide handbook? No. I've read a lot of them. I've done a lot of research over the years, but no, I don't have one, although it actually is very smart to learn how to suture, to learn how to tourniquet, to learn what to do in case of emergencies, like anything from snake bites to breaks to falls and sprains, poison oak. When you're out in the middle of nowhere and the resources are scarce and there's no communication, it's not a bad idea to have a survival guidebook. Know what you can eat off the land, what you can't eat, what animals to eat, how to trap them. There's lots of information that I'm familiar with. I'm no professional, but I have a lot of experience my whole life with this outdoor stuff. So I've gotten pretty good at it. But maybe one day I'll regret not bringing one. But there are lots of really cool little small books you could bring. They're like survival books. They're pretty fucking rad. And then what do you use in case of emergencies? I'm sorry. She said, do you have a survival guide book just in case you get lost? Or what do you use in case of emergencies? I don't know if what you mean is what do you use if you get lost in case of emergency, which is a map and a compass. And then, or if you mean what do I bring to prepare myself for potential emergencies like sprains, cuts, breaks, snake bites, that type of stuff. Number one thing is let somebody know exactly where you're at, when you're going to be there, when they should expect you back, so that they know what to look for, and that you know that after a certain amount of time, if nobody hears from you, they should send help. That's first and foremost. That's not going to do any good if nobody knows who the fuck you are. Damir says, yes, very familiar. I love them so much. I moved up here. That's right. The mountains are absolutely wonderful. And the Sierras, they're just dreamlike to me ever since I was a kid. Now that so much of it's burnt down, it's very moving, very touching because it's gone. There's so much of it that's gone. And because of that, it makes you really realize just no matter what it is, it's a tree, it's a person, it's a memory, it's an experience. Enjoy it while the fuck you have it, man, because it seems like a mountain and a tree and a forest is always going to be there, especially more than your friends, your family, and your stuff. But that's not true either. It's all come and go. Slow smoking. This is great. Okay, so what do I bring in case of emergencies? The basics. The basics you're going to bring in general for backpacking trips is going to be for emergencies. So clothing to keep warm. You're going to die at night if you're not warm. You're going to freeze. You're going to get hypothermia. You're going to get sick. You're going to die. You're going to never wake up again. The next would be the ability to drink good, fresh, clean water. You can live a long time without food, longer than people think, way longer than you think. You're probably not going to die of starvation. You would get out of the mountains before you were starved, but you can die of dehydration really quickly, especially in high altitudes. So you need a way to get good, clean water. I will tell you a mistake that I made recently, one of my last big trips. So kind of to your point right now, you're saying hiking alone is the most balls ever. I'd never do it. I go in groups only. When I say hiking, I mean backpacking. So even then, that's even more important to go with groups for sure. One of the things you need to bring is multiple ways to filter water. So I've always brought water filters, which are really quick and really convenient. The new ones are awesome. I bring one. You should bring two. I bring one. And then my backup has always been, because I've never had one fail until it does. I always bring a backup way to also sterilize water, which has classically been the stove. So I can boil water and then use that, which is great for emergencies. But if you're trying to get to the top of a mountain, the water source is a mile down the hill, and you have to climb up the hill, and you're getting thirsty, you're gonna need something to drink. Well, if you boil the water at the bottom of the hill, it takes forever, right? You can only boil so much at a time if your pot's only so big, and you're gonna drink that pretty quickly. But you have to boil it, you have to let it cool down to be able to transport it, and then you have to let it cool down enough to drink it. And if you're up at high altitudes, where everything's pretty unstable up there, the air's thin, it's not gonna cool down for sometimes hours. So you have nothing to drink. And if you're thirsty and you're getting dehydrated, you need water. Relying on boiling water is last resort. That is not the best way to drink water. You need water purification tablets. You need a filtration system, and maybe even a backup one, since you only weigh a few ounces. It's all about ounces turning into pounds up there. So I'm going to try not to miss your guys' comments on here. Sorry if I do. Danbury saying honey is a lifesaver. Very well educated in the flora and fauna. I definitely could live off the land. It's way harder than you think to live off the land unless you really understand, you know, the fauna. You have to understand the animals. You're not going to eat plants up there to survive for very long. And again, you need water. You cannot drink the water. So you have to learn how to boil that shit. If you don't have what it takes and aren't prepared, if you get lost, you're fucked. It's really hard for me to get lost. It'd be almost impossible for me to get lost in the Sierras. Turned around, disoriented for a while, sure, but lost, almost impossible. And I'm not trying to be cocky. It's just the Sierras is almost kind of like cheating because of the way they're formed. I'll tell you why. Number one, the Eastern Sierras and the Western Sierras are only about 75 to 100 miles apart, which sounds far, but for avid hikers, backpackers, it's not very far. It's a couple days journeys. It could be a few days if needed. It could be a week if necessary, depending on the altitude you're reaching. It could be, you know, less or more days, give or take a little. But the beginning, the east side of the Sierras is sheer cliffs. They go straight up from high desert plains to, you know, they reach anywhere from, you know, I would say 3,000 to sometimes 9,000 feet from a 3,000 foot high desert elevation on the eastern side of the Sierras, Nevada side. It's going to be high desert. And then when the Sierras start, it's a sheer cliff up on the eastern side. As that sheer cliff, you know, peaks all the way down to the valley, the San Joaquin Valley where we live, it's really kind of a shelf that goes gradually down. And then as it goes gradually down, of course, there's more trees, there's more water, there's more reservoirs. So it's very clear, no matter where you are in the Sierras, you could drop me off in the Sierras and I would know which way to go. It would be pretty easy to do. Because if you're looking one way and you're seeing big, huge, tall, above tree line moonscape, we call it moonscape mountains with no trees, then go the opposite way if you're trying to go back down to the valley. Especially because if you try to go that way towards the moonscape, it's good luck going through there. I don't know how the fuck people did it back in the day, man, with horses and buggies and carriages and gear. It's like, fuck, that shit's crazy. So it's very hard to get lost up there for me. Disoriented and turned around, very easy, depending on where you are. If you're in a gorge or in a canyon or you're hurt, you can't move fast. It's dark. If it's dark, you better have a compass because it's really fucking hard. I'm pretty good at it with using the tree lines and the sky and the night sky, but it's still easy to get disoriented. If you're not on a trail, it's very unadvised to do that during the dark or in the night. I was actually stalked a few times in my life by animals, especially bears, at night because they're wondering what the fuck you're doing up there. Kimmy B's on here saying bear attacks. So bear attacks are legit, but they're not as legit as cat attacks or human attacks. I'm more worried about people than I am about bears. Bears are curious. They want easy food. And unless they're really starving, they're going to leave you alone, or at least they'll leave you alone. Maybe not your stuff. They'll fuck your stuff up, but they usually leave you alone. It's not bears I'm worried about. It'd be cats, and it would be smaller animals, poisonous animals. Okay. Heather moved recently out of state, and she's saying really missing the mountains, but there's a lot of cool places where we are hoping to check out in Texas this summer. I don't know if I can move permanently from here. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. I might try it one day, but it'd be incredibly hard for me. Danbury is jumping in here saying that mountain lions scare her the most. They stalk and kill you and attack from above. That's a fact, and they do it for fun. So they're fucking killers, and they're scary. They're a real thing. So bring a sword, Danbury. That's my answer. And Ava is saying, I'm getting up the courage to go out hiking, but yeah, exactly. Scared to go alone. It's really not the best idea. I think if you're a female, it's even worse. If you're a female, you're less aggressive, you're less intimidating, you're a little bit smaller typically. And if you're alone, that's going to be prey for things like cats, especially. The smaller the person, the worse off you are. They're going to see you as a toy. They're going to play with you like a string ball, and it's not going to turn out well for you. But also, too, what's really amazing to me, what's amazing is that people aren't scared of going to the bad part of town unarmed. People aren't scared of going to house parties where people are drinking and drunk. People aren't scared of going to bars and clubs where everybody's drinking and fucking drunk. Nobody's scared of driving after 10 o'clock. And even though statistically speaking, that's when car accidents happen in terms of, narcotics or alcohol or non-sober drivers. So nobody seems to be that worried about this, but they're always worried about going up in the mountains, which is like infinitely more safe. I feel much safer up there every single time than I do down here. especially because animals are pretty predictable if you understand them, generally speaking. There's a lot to know, but it's not complicated once you get to know it. Mom is asking, how much water can you carry? I can carry a ton of water. But if you're going up hills, you kind of hope to plan for the creeks or the water sources along the way. There's many ways to get that information, especially trail guides, but also asking people along the way. But for me, I go to a lot of places there are no people. So you just have to know where water sources are going to be. There's a lot of resources out there, anything from Google Maps to topographical maps, or in general, just, hiking maps to show you where these water sources will be. So you could at least go there to get food, or water, even more important, water. But they're sometimes dried up. So if it's a dry season, you can't rely on it. So sometimes you have to bring more water than you'd like. And gallons weigh a lot. So I can carry 25 pounds worth of just dry gear, backpack, sleeping bag, tent, that kind of stuff, clothes. But sometimes I'm carrying another 10 pounds plus of water if I'm in a place, especially like a desert or a mountain top where it's above tree line, there's no water. Oftentimes you have to bring a lot. So I can usually carry, I would say anywhere from, if we're saying gallons, I'd say 2.5 gallons, liters. I'm not sure what it translates into, but I usually have at least 3 or 4 1 liter bottles full at all times, depending on where I'm going. It's the heaviest per pound thing you'll carry. So you try to carry as little as possible, but also not negligible, because that can turn out really bad. If you're carrying too little of water, you'll be tempted not to drink it, and you'll start to decline quick, because you need to drink it before you're thirsty and you stay hydrated. I think hydration is really important in general, but especially up on the mountain, you really have to be on top of it. You cannot wait till you're thirsty. You just have to drink, and drink a lot. And it's not just water, it's electrolytes. You need salt, you need water, so you need electrolytes. Your body, I think there's 2 different types of electrolytes. I don't remember exactly which ones, but like salt and sugars, I guess. You need those while you're hiking. You can't just rely on water because you're sweating all those electrolytes out. Your cells are almost no good in terms of energy output if they just have water and no electrolytes. You can actually drown yourself and go into even worse, situations other than dehydration. And Kim, yes, if I didn't already answer that, do you have to use purification tablets and a filter? Yes, it's best to use purification tablets for emergencies, but they're a great thing to have, because if there ever is a set emergency, even in town, and you can't drink anything and the water's been ruined, you have no way to clean it. Water purification tablets are really, really important to have. But you still want to purify the water, because those tablets have iodine and other chemicals in them. You don't want to be drinking that on a regular and rely on it. But for short periods of time, it'd be fine. The military uses it all the time. But I'd rather filter my water through a really good filter first, a ceramic filter of some sort. Yeah, and David's saying miner's lettuce is an easy go-to. It's also a good source of water like cucumber. So these things can be true, but I think it's a bit of a fantasy for people to live off the land the way they think. It sounds great, but if you were to really live off of it, the nutritional value of these things is very low. Sure, the water content might be high, but you also have to worry about other things like diseases. You have to worry about things in the plant, on the plant, urine from animals on the plant, bugs, snails. You can't just go around eating things like people think. I would say 99.9% of stuff that's available for food as animals is not available to us in terms of greenery. Most of it we cannot eat. Most of it, if we eat, you die. If you notice, most animals eat one type of plant. Otherwise, if they eat a different type of plant, they die. So it's very, very dangerous to do. We got Natalie on here. What's up, Natalie? Thanks for joining in. You are late to the game, but we got you. That was not the right sound effect. So hello, thanks for being on here. Everybody else too, if you're just jumping on, joining the conversation. This is the live Q&A. Artistic Freedom is the new name of the show. If you guys are not aware of it, get fucking aware of it. And join us this time, join us next time, and we will do all the comments, all the responses, all the spicy situations that we find ourselves in.
Yes, Daddy.
That was kind of quiet, but it worked. You know what's cool? When I look at this, I see a lot of people I've tattooed a shit ton of work on. And it's kind of cool to see it all in one place. Just to see you guys here is cool, so thank you. Natalie is saying, and I don't know if this is a response to the backpacking or to the city life, carry a gun. I don't know. I almost never do. I shouldn't say that out loud. I don't want to be a target, but at least in the forest, I almost never do. I just don't find it that necessary unless I'm hunting. Desiree's on here. What's up, Desiree? Thanks for joining us. She's saying, are we talking natural living? Sort of. We're talking about backpacking, hiking, and camping kind of situations. She's saying filtering drinking sticks are phenomenal, compact, and efficient way when hiking. Yeah, you can bring those. They're actually pretty good, and a lot of people love them. I think when you're talking about convenience, what you have to be careful of, and since Mom's on here, I have to say this too. And yes, Mom, by the way, we do have plenty of water this year at least, which means we're going to have plenty of brush, which means we're going to have plenty of brush fires, and it's going to be an interesting year. So she's saying filter sticks are phenomenal. So the thing is with water storage is you need water storage. You need ways to transport water. You cannot rely on just a liter bag or a bottle or an Nalgene. I never bring Nalgenes. For emergencies or doomsday stuff, it's great because they're robust, but I don't bring them. I bring soft bladders, things that can compact and collapse. So if I don't need to carry the weight, I don't have to. It's a very light thing. It's the water I want to be heavy, not the container. But I also want it to be robust enough to be able to not pop on me. So I need multiple ways to carry water. And there's lots of ways you can do that. The other one is too, you can't put dirty water into all of your containers because now all those containers are contaminated and you can no longer use them for anything other than, let's say, if you have 3 ways to carry water and they all 3 have contaminated water, meaning just fresh creek or river water or lake water, now all of those are not able to be drank out of. So then now you have to have something like the straw because all of your water resources, reservoirs have now been contaminated. So what I like to do is use one source of water storage as just water storage, and I filter that into my then clean bottles of water. And the Life Straw is not very good to do that with because you have to drink through it to be able to get it. So you'd have to literally drink out of it and spit it into something, I guess. I like to take a water filter and filter it into those other systems so that my systems stay clean. Because even if you're not drinking the water, just getting the water in your cooking gear and on your gear, Giardia is a big thing. I think I've gotten it once. It's fucking terrible. It can absolutely kill you. So you have to be very, very careful of that. I've seen people with it. It is not good. It's very much an emergency situation. So you do not want to fuck around with that water. Okay. Desiree saying, there you go, Natalie. That's the master protector against those big kitties. If the unfortunate events arise, that's true. And it is something you have to think about. You have to worry about. I mean, I bring a sword. That's what I bring, or a big knife. It's not necessary. I've seen these cats. It's not something you want to go up against if you don't have to with any sort of weapon. But if I could use anything, I would absolutely like to have some sort of rifle. No fucking doubt. So if you're going somewhere alone, if you're small, if you are prey, if you look desperate or non-intimidating, it could be very bad news for you. Let's see. Mom's asking, what food do you take? As natural food as I can, but most of the time it has to be freeze dried, and it's not very good, and it doesn't digest well. So whatever food I take, I try to make it food I like, but a lot of times dehydrated. I really just go pound for pound. I have to count my calories. If I don't count my calories and I don't bring enough food, I'm not going to be very happy, but I almost always bring more than I need. And I always fuck up every single time and bring dry foods like granola bars and what are those ones called? The Nature's whatever, like bars that you open them and they dust your whole house every time you take a bite. But you can't eat them when you're up there. It's like your mouth just doesn't break them down. So I always forget to not bring those. Kimmy's asking, she meant together, like the tablets and then the filter. Can you use one or the other? You can use them separate and you can use them together. It's really kind of useless, in my opinion, to use them together unless you suspect that your filter's faulty to some level. Or if your filter, of course, just breaks, that's the point of having tablets. Tablets are easy to carry. You can have a ton of them. They don't weigh much. It's a cheap alternative to a filter. You can also use them together, but it's not really necessary. The filters do way better than the tablets, in my opinion, and they also get rid of contaminants. Not just sterilize the water, but they get rid of the contaminants as well. The filters do. So it's much better drinking water. You can do the same thing with a bandana or a piece of cloth, pouring it through there, and then putting the iodized pills in the water, so it's sterile. You can do that as well. And those are great. It's a wonderful invention for emergencies, no doubt. Mom saying, have you ever been physically ill while hiking? Yes. It sucks. It is terrible. I have once, I don't know what it was. Altitude sickness. I really don't know what it was. Could have been Giardia, could have been the flu. It really felt like I was dying, and I was alone for 3 days. I remember crawling into my tent, getting my food out because I felt it coming on hard, and it sucked because I was in paradise. It was beautiful. I'm right in front of this gorgeous fucking lake, perfect camp spot. I'm laying there and I just felt it coming on strong, and I knew I was going down, and it was probably not going to be small. It was going to be a big deal. So I got all my food out, got plenty of water filtered. I laid down, I fell asleep, woke up just feeling like shit. I hate to say that lots of stuff was happening with my body, and it was telling me this isn't good. So that being said, I was super ill. It took me about 2 or 3 days to really recover enough to get out of there, but that was a terrible experience and very scary because, you know, if something were to happen or I were to go into a coma or not drink water because I was too delusional from dehydration or something, things can go bad. That's why you have to make plans. You have to let people know where you are. You know, you have to have the resources. You have to be able to hydrate. And again, everybody thinks just drink water. Yeah. If you're dehydrated, the last thing you need to do is just drink water. You actually need more than water. You need electrolytes, and you're not going to get those electrolytes by just drinking water. You need to drink salts and sugars and things that your body can use for fuel right away to rehydrate as fast as possible. By the way, Ashley, I love my torches. Just letting you know. Brody saying, beef jerky for backpacking. That's a great thing to bring. It's very heavy, but it is nice to have a little bit with you. Ashley saying, have you ever eaten anything that made you sick? I don't know. Yeah, actually, yeah. I drank something one time that made me sick. So hiking with my buddy, and we brought a clear bottle, just like a Aquafina bottle, the 12-ounce typical water bottle. And we poured out the water. We probably drank the water. And we filled it up with vodka because that water bottle is way lighter than a glass or something, or a jar or a flask. So we filled up that water bottle with vodka to bring it with us backpacking. And we figured every night we'd have a little bit. Well, I forgot that was vodka. And I was up there tired, thirsty as shit, and I started chugging it. And that definitely made me sick very fast. It was a horrible fucking experience. Next, I've learned my lesson. Just whiskey or moonshine, not white lightning. Something with color. Do not bring vodka and mistake it for water. It was terrible. Jennifer, thanks for being on here. Good to see you. Jennifer's actually been to one of my classes. Thanks for being here and get into the comment section. I always appreciate you guys doing so. It's always fun. Danvers says, does a bear shit in the woods? Yes, and so does Josh. 100%. Bears shitting in the woods obviously is a real thing. I love the joke. Does a bear shit in the woods? Well, maybe polar bears don't. But that's actually a big topic that a lot of people don't bring up because nobody wants to talk about it. Since I'm surrounded by women here in the comment section, so far as I can tell. By the way, guys, if you're watching this and you're not in the comment section, you should be. Let us know where you're watching from, where you're calling from. If you guys are on here and you are not showing up in the comment section, you should. If you enjoy this, then it's the least you could do to support us and say hello. Let us know where you're calling from. And this is a good time for me to let you guys know that very soon, just to get serious here for a minute, very soon, I will have Linda in the shop. Linda's coming in. And Linda, if you're out there, if you're listening, Linda, anywhere in the world, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you're doing it with, wherever you're doing it with, whoever you're doing it with, just know that I'm thinking about you. And I can't wait to see you. Oh, Linda. You guys want to see Linda? I'll take a picture with her next time. She hates photos. You guys want to see Linda next time? Okay. Anyway, a big topic nobody talks about since I'm surrounded by women, and this is a weird one for me to bring up in front of you all, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's always one of those taboo ones, is personal hygiene. It's super fucking important to know what to do and how to do it. Let's say regarding how to, like, just being straight with you, pardon my French, how to bury your poop, what to wipe with, what to use, how to do it, where to do it. Like, there's rules about all this shit, pun intended. And then also girls' personal hygiene products. same thing, especially if you're going out for a long period of time. You absolutely have to be prepared for that. And you have to know what to do. Because if you do it wrong, you could be fucking up the flora and fauna, as previously mentioned. But you can also be fucking yourself up, and you don't want that. So you got to do a little bit of research. I'm not going to explain it to you now. Just know you want to stay clean. You want to stay healthy. You want the environment to stay healthy, and you need to do things correctly. Do not poop without burying it. Bury it deep. It has to be at least 6 inches deep. Take the time to do it, because animals will get it on them. It stays on them, and it ruins their sense of smell. It fucks up the environment, and it's really disgusting when we run into it up there. So don't do that. So there you go. There's my 2 cents on how to poop in the woods. It's very important how to do it. You guys might not know this, but there's some trails where you have to bring bags. They're called wag bags. They call them wag bags because they wag on the outside of your pack as you're walking, because you have to tie them hopefully to the outside of your pack. Hopefully you're not putting them in your pack, because you have to pack out what you pack in. So if you bring poop in, you have to bring poop out. Not on all trails. Some trails have plenty of trees and bio-friendly systems that can break down your said waste. But there's some places above tree line, especially up in the mountains where there's no trees or rocks or trails. There's some that require that you bring these wag bags so that you can pack out what you packed in. I heard a story about some good friends once doing this, and they all took their wag bags, and the guy that was in front, they went and clicked it onto his backpack. So he was carrying everybody's shit, literally everybody's shit, up or down. I think it was actually going down some switchbacks. And once he found out that all of their shit was tied to his back, he was pretty pissed. I think it's awesome. Sheldon, what's up? Thanks for being here. It's my boy.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
That's right. What's up, Sheldon? Sheldon is saying that he is calling from his van up in the mountains.
Yeah!
Where are you at, Shelly? Let me know. Hopefully you're having fun. You're enjoying yourself. So all this talk about the outdoors, and here he is just doing his thing. Lucky son of a biscuit. So what's up, Shelly? Love you, bro. By the way, guys, I think we should have a Shelly cam. If you guys are familiar with the show enough, you would know that I've had him on here many a times. And oh, look at that root beer. Beautiful. It's not whiskey, but for tonight, it's root beer. And a stogie. Hopefully Sheldon's got some nice comforting treats up there as well. But how many of you guys agree that we should 100% have a Shelly cam? What do you think? Should we have a Shelly cam or not? Should there be a camera I can switch to and Shelly's there and we can have him as a sidekick, as a co-host? What's up, Shelly? Thanks, Ava, for saying that. That's awesome. Ashley apparently is relating to this a little bit, considering her profession. I totally feel you, sort of. I don't do it for other people, but for myself, I got to bury my shit. Jennifer says, I think you need to create a how-to guide video or in print. Either way, I would buy it. Do you mean a how-to, like in terms of your experience in the woods? That would be cool. That would be really cool. That would be fun. There'll definitely be a poop section. There has to be, because you have to know what to do. Like not within, I believe, 100 feet of a trail, not within 100 feet or 100 yards of a water source, lake, river, or creek. Just keep it away. Keep it away from humans and bury it. Always bury it. I always like to put rocks on it so that deer and stuff don't get curious, because you will fuck up their lives and it's not fair to them that we're there, ruining their time. Let's see here. Mom, true friend to carry your shit around. Yeah, he didn't do it voluntarily, but it was still awesome. Alex is on here. What's up, Alex? Thanks for joining us. He's saying, hey, bro, how's the shop doing? As always, doing really good. It's keeping me on my toes. We have a lot of wonderful talent in there and a lot of wonderful new talent, actually. So shout out to those girls. It's a lot of fun and it's very challenging. Today, all the girls were having a great time, and I was tattooing an old dude, veteran, and the girls were up front having a great time, talking, yelling, screaming, just having a good time in the shop. And he looks at me and he goes, I don't know how you do it. I was like, wow, I guess it's better than other situations. Like, let them have their time. But he was an older guy, and he was looking at me like, man, they sound like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off. I'm like, yeah, that does happen. It's okay. Sheldon's by Shaver. That's cool, man. It's probably pretty chilly there tonight for sure. Jennifer saying, which trail requires that? Definitely a trail I think I will take off my list. There's quite a few. Really anything on the eastern side of the Sierras, because that's where the above the tree line stuff's going to be. and the really famous hiking trails. Like, for example, Mount Whitney, you have to have one. So many people hike that trail every day, and there's no way that stuff's going to degrade up there. So you need to take it out. You need to pack it out with you. I wish more people packed out every fucking thing they brought in. It's a sad thing to go, especially up deep into the mountains, and people leave so much shit, just so much shit. It's fucking embarrassing. So don't be those people. I'll tell you what you can do. Do what me and my kids do. When we get to the campground and we're done, when we leave the campground and we're done and we pack up and we go to leave, not only do we pick up all our stuff, we comb the whole fucking area. One is so that nobody could ever possibly mistake us for leaving trash, because maybe there's somebody else's trash left over. Maybe the wind blew something. Maybe an animal got it and trucked it off. But also, if it's somebody else's trash, if I see wrappers from, it looks like it's been there forever, pick it up. Leave it better than you found it. Don't just, pack out what you, packed in. Leave it better than you found it if you can. And I'm not talking about wag bags at this point. I'm not bringing your wag bag. But there's oftentimes on a trail, I'll find something and I'll take it with me. Say somebody drops a bandana or a hat or a scarf or a napkin or a spoon. Maybe they didn't realize it fell out of their bag. It's not like they were being, distasteful. It was maybe just an accident. So I pick it up and I bring it out. So leave it better than you found it. If you guys haven't heard the famous sort of phrase for backpacking is leave no trace. That's what you should do. It should be undetectable that you as a human were there. That would be very nice for all of us. Yes, Daneberry, you are right. Sheldon's birthday is September 22nd. Okay, yes, Jennifer. So yes, all of it, that would be cool. I think it'd be fun to write something like this. Like I said, I actually want to get a good friend of mine who does a lot of backpacking in here one day, do a nice conversation about this, because to me it's very, very interesting. Some general rules of how to make your life up in the mountains, especially backpacking and hiking, much more memorable. Well, I shouldn't say memorable. Bad things can make it memorable too, but much more pleasant, as pleasant as it can be. So no unnecessary suffering, because it's already going to be fucked up. It's already going to be hard. Mom's going to bed. Good night, Mom. Love you. Thanks for being on here. As always, I will see you soon. Hope you sleep well. And thanks for jumping on here, Mom. Yeah. Raddest mom alive. Okay. Everybody saying good night. That's awesome. Sorry, Danebria. Yes, I said cackling hens. It actually wasn't me saying it. It was the old man. He said it, so not my words. Danebria said, I do teach that each year at Bass Lake tourist season. Yeah, it's very, very, you do that each year at Bass Lake. Bass Lake is one of the worst, man. Fuck. Bass Lake, I try to stay away. It's not much better to me than Millerton or Shaver. This is fucking crazy. The lower the lakes, the closer to town, the easier it is to get to, the worse. As you progressively get further into the mountains and harder to reach places, it's progressively better. You don't have people blasting their radios. You're not up late at night with people screaming, yelling, and partying. Typically, you don't see trash most of the time. You're not getting assholes. You're not getting rude people. You're getting the farther out you get, the more remote you are, typically the kinder, or at least the more people leave you alone and leave no trace. But yeah, closer to the town, the easier to get to places. Fuck that. It's terrible. It's a sad thing to see how just trashed people leave this planet. It's like, it's your fucking home and just zero respect. It's one thing that really fucking pisses me off is when I see people do that. I've literally dumped people's trash back in their car before because of the way they treated their sites. I've seen people throw things out the window. I've picked it up and threw it back in. I've seen people leave trash before, and I've stopped them and asked them, hey, like, just out of curiosity, are you really actually going to fucking leave all that right there? And they, just so that they at least have to look me in the eye and tell me yes or no, or just at least be recognized. It's fucking sick. Like, it really gets me. Danbrio, she's saying you and Sheldon have the same van. Close. Not exactly. You and Sheldon are like brothers. We're like fucking joined at the hip. We're like twins. Almost lovers, but without the gay stuff. Sheldon's my best friend. He's an awesome man. He's a wonderful dude. And we're very much alike. And I take it as a compliment. Heather, thanks for being on here. It sounds like you're jumping off. Thanks for catching us. Thanks for jumping in. I appreciate you. Hopefully we'll see you soon. October, I think it is. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one. This is some more of the outdoorsy stuff. She says, are you allergic to any foods? Do you dislike any foods? I dislike quite a few foods, but when you're hungry, you'll eat anything. But am I allergic to any foods? I don't know if I'm allergic, but dairy does not like me, or I should say I don't like it. And then you're also asking what's the craziest thing you have ate? I'm not too experimental with food. And the craziest thing, I don't really know how to answer that. Chicken gizzards, pig brain. To me, that's not that weird. Cow tongue, it's pretty common. We got great tacos here in the valley, so cow tongue's not unusual. I think that's about it. Pretty sure I ate a worm when I was a kid just to be weird. Just picked it up and ate it. I just remember it basically tasting like dirt. It was nothing. Also, this is a good question. Damien is saying, why did you choose a van over an RV? Really fucking good question. That's because I very much specifically would rather have a van than an RV. Oh man, that's a good question. I'll tell you exactly why I chose my van. If you guys haven't seen Large Marge, she's my apartment on wheels, over an RV. I'll tell you exactly why. Some is obvious, just size, just sheer size and cost. I have a couple of objectives when it came to building my van. Even when it came to purchasing my van. You know, people always talk about wanting something to stand up in because I'm a tall dude. So they wanted something to stand up in. They're like, oh, you're not going to like how short the inside of a van is. You're going on an RV. Not true. I don't want to spend time in the van. I want to lay down in the van, maybe hold stuff in the van, cook in the van, only if necessary. I want the van to be a transporter of me and my goods to get me to the wilderness. I don't need something to live in. I'm not a glamper. I just want a utility vehicle. The other reason I didn't choose an RV is because I wanted something that could fit in drive-thrus. If I'm driving and nothing's open at night and I'm starving or hungry or I get back in town and it's late, I don't want to have to wait to get home to get a car to go back to get something. I really like the ability to go through a drive-thru, whether it's coffee or cheeseburgers or whatever it may be. On the road, it's really nice to be able to do that. I literally built my van, little detail, exactly under, I think it's 9 foot exactly. And 9'6" is a typical drive-through. So I can fit through almost all drive-throughs. So I did that on purpose. And also the RV is a totally different vehicle. You are not stealth in an RV. People know you're in it, you're camping, and it's a eyesore. Am I failing on this thing? I think I still got it a little bit. Why did you choose a van over an RV? It also looks cooler. RVs are kind of fucking weird. I just look like a dork in an RV. I got a white van. People think it's creeper, but I'll tell you what, I've had more compliments on having my van than any other vehicle I've ever had. So that's kind of cool. Kimmy's on here saying it. Kidnapper van. That's absolutely right.
That's why I managed to stay single this whole time, you know?
So I'll tell you guys a joke. Sheldon just shared it with me recently. What is a kidnapper's favorite pair of shoes? Question mark. It's for you guys to answer. Ashley's saying simple man, 100%. I don't like fancy shit. It's not that I don't want it or don't like it. I shouldn't say. I don't have a proclivity to having fancy, comfortable things. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. But most of the time it serves me pretty well. It keeps me on my fucking toes. Fun factoid nobody answered earlier. I'm going to tell you guys something that I was talking about in regards to mouth breathers and nose breathers. It was very interesting to learn about this. When you're not exposed to hard things, you get weak. That's a fact, right? So I don't want an RV. I don't want this big glamorous thing. It's just, I don't know. I just think it's a bad idea to get too comfortable too fucking soon. Brody Jade almost got the joke. She said Vans. Close. White Vans. What is a kidnapper's favorite shoes? White Vans. So good job. Jennifer saying free candy. It's getting creepy, guys. I drive a white van. Denver said, can't kidnap me. I'm a fat kid. That's still a possibility. I got a van. It's pretty big. She says, when I think of your white van, I think of free candy. That's awesome. Why I think it's awesome. Maybe it's not that awesome, but I think it's cool. So anyway, the mouth breather, nose breather thing. When people breathe out of their nose, it's much healthier for you for many reasons. I won't state the facts because I'm not a scientist, but it's better for you. When you breathe out of your mouth, it's terrible for you. It's bad for tooth decay. It's bad for health. It's bad for heart health, overall health, teeth health, all that. When you breathe out of your mouth, you actually you can get a receding jaw. It actually starts to recede back into your face. Your face is more attractive when you breathe out of your nose. It's less attractive. Proven facts. This is a study they did a while ago, proving the fact that if you are a nose breather, your jaw and your face and your structure, your bones, your cheeks, everything are going to be much healthier. Your skin is healthier. Smaller bags under your eyes as you get older. Mouth breathing and nose breathing are two. If you guys are wondering why I'm bringing this up, I'm telling you why right now. What they found is people who chew hard things, people who eat meat, people who chew on bones, meat on bones, that are exposing their mouths, and this goes to say with your whole body and your mind, your spirituality, your heart, your whole fucking life. When you're not exposed to hard things, you get weak. People who eat hard, like look at animals, look how fucking robust their mouths and their teeth are. And they chaw and gnaw and chomp on hard shit. And if you're exposed to soft things all the time, it's actually really fucking bad for you. It makes you weaker. And that's a fact, physically and emotionally. So I want to avoid that as much as possible. So that being said, I didn't want to RV because another fact is when you expose, for example, everybody can try this. You can put your elbows right here on this hard surface and roll it around. Try doing that with your knees. Try doing it with your hips. Try doing it with a bone that you don't typically expose to hard things. You're not going to enjoy it. It's going to hurt very bad. Your elbows are used to this simply because you do it all the time. So your elbows are very dense. Matter of fact, breaking elbows is less likely than people breaking hips and knees, because hips and knees are usually comforted with soft surfaces. So, and those are just facts. So I don't want an RV because I don't want to get that fucking comfortable. I don't want to get that weak and soft. I see people in RVs and I don't want to be like those people. So a long way of saying that's why I chose a van over an RV. Yes, I figured somebody would say that, Ava. Thanks for bringing that up. But yeah, when exposed to soft things, it makes you softer. Exposed to hard things makes you harder. My van is as close to soft as I'm going to get for now, till I get older. And yes, the jokes could come deeply from that, no doubt. Very deep. Another question, I think it was already asked, but while hiking, do you worry more about bears or mountain lions? Definitely way more about mountain lions, 100%. They know where you are. They know you're there. They're watching you. They're stalking you. They're following you. Bears, if there's cubs or you come up on a den, that's very fucking dangerous, but you just have to be really careful. It's happened to me before, but the bear left me alone. Mountain lions have stalked me before, and that is very terrifying. But when you have a nice Viking sword, then it's a lot less scary. What are some of the things you do to relax after a long day? Well, you are watching me do said thing now. So thank you for asking that, Debra. So there you go. What are some of the things you do to relax after a long day? One of my favorite things to do is just a fucking hot ass shower for 20, 30 minutes. It's terrible on the water bill and the PG&E bill, but I don't care. It's so fucking enjoyable. That's my time. Whether it's a shower right after the gym, workout at the gym, or at the end of the day when I get home. That right there is it. That's what I do to relax. I wish right now I could say there was more other things, but I don't. But I do throughout the year have my times to relax. I take the time off. I take a week here and there. And a lot of times, like there's this meadow I go to, and I set up a hammock. I open up the van. I turn it into a nice little oasis. I let myself experience some soft shit for about 3 or 4 days, and I read books, fall asleep to the sun setting, wake up, do it all over again for 3, 4 days until I eventually get bored of it and want to go home. And that's what I do to relax on occasion. And I've said this before, guys. You've probably heard, if you're on here, you've probably heard this before, but I will say this. She's asking, what are some of the things you do to relax after a long day? I don't want to relax every day after a long day. I honestly think it's too much. Going back to the hard and soft stuff. I think if you do that every fucking day, the beer, the meal, the sitting around, not that it's not nice, not that I don't appreciate it, not that I wouldn't love to fucking have it, but I just think it makes you fucking soft. That's just my opinion. I'm not going to live a life that way. And so for now, it's just not part of my day to relax after a long day, quote unquote. I think what I do to relax after a long day is probably not what people can say relaxing. And then another question is, what's the next tattoo you're excited about doing? Portraits. I have a couple portraits on the books, quite a few portraits on the books, and I'm really excited to do those. To answer that correctly, let me look at my schedule real quick. Let's get into the old schedule. Let's see. I don't know. I have quite a few. There's a Viking sleeve coming up. I got this new dude that I'm tattooing, Robert. He's super fucking cool dude, and his tattoos are pretty rad. got quite a few sessions with him coming up. I mean, I love what I do, so most of them are rad. But in terms of actual tattoos, just the portraits that are coming up, faces, characters, that kind of thing. That stuff's just super fun for me. If you guys didn't see what Midna did today, you need to go to my Instagram. Go to the High Sierra Tattoo Co. Instagram and check out Midna's page. She's linked in the bio, and see her last tattoo. I think I also posted it. If not, I will tonight. It's a clown that she just posted. Fucking absolutely remarkable. It's genius shit. She's a fucking prodigy. Maybe I could say she's an enigma, even better. Okay, here. Mountain Lion. Oh, here we go. Jennifer's saying, what do you do to deter bears, etc.? You're saying make loud noises, try to appear larger, dead, etc. Kimmy, mountain lion or cougar? Stalked you. Ha ha. It was both. I've had cougars and I've had mountain lions. Ha ha. Let's see. Good question though. What do you do to deter bears? Making loud noises. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They'll leave you alone. Try to appear larger isn't necessary. You do not want to try to intimidate these animals. They will fucking kill you. Don't intimidate animals. You want to stand your ground when it comes to mountain lions. You do not necessarily need to stand your ground with bears. Most of the time, they will just leave you alone. They're just curious little fuckers that get into your shit. They really don't want trouble. But it's different for bears, and it's different for different territories. Grizzlies are not black bears, and black bears are not grizzlies. They're not the same. Mountain lions aren't wolves, and so on and so forth. You have to know how to treat each animal. Most people kill bears because they're afraid of the bear, not because the bear was actually dangerous. But most people kill cats because cats are a fucking nuisance, and they're deadly, and they're absolutely fucking dangerous, and they will fuck you up. So, to each their own. But yeah, make loud noises. Let them know you're there before they even see you or you see them. And try not to disturb them, and definitely don't walk into their dens or anywhere near them. I think the dead thing is only one under attack. If under attack by a bear, you play dead. If you're under attack by a mountain lion, you do everything to kick and scream and treat that motherfucker like he's trying to put you in a big white van. Just do everything you can to get away from him. Okay. Yes, Brody Jade saw it. So the clown from outer space, that was the last one Minna did. It was fucking amazing. So you guys should definitely see that. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Since it's that good, it's that good. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up this picture of this clown. This is absolutely remarkable. I'm going to show this to you guys real quick. Okay, let's get this up on the screen. And I will show you guys Minna's last tattoo that she did, which was, like I said, just unbelievably good. Let's find out if I can get this thing showing up here. Don't mind my messy ass desktop. Hopefully it doesn't show. Let's see. There we go. So bad tattoo. I actually had to select bad tattoo for this to show up because it's on that screen. But this is it here. This is what Minna, if you guys are scared of clowns, you might not want to watch this right now. But this is what Minna just tattooed today. Check this shit out. So this right here is Minna's, this is Minna's last tattoo she did today. And it just shows how far she's came. She's taking her already talented art skills to the skin, and I'm doing my best to teach her and show her everything I can so she can learn how. And I think in this one really displays how talented and gifted this young woman is for only tattooing for less than 2 years. So anyway, I get to brag about that because I did have the honor of teaching her everything I know so far, and she's still learning and still doing great. So that's it. Fucking amazing. I can't say enough about her work. So there it is. I had to put that on here. And Alex, yes, I agree. Thanks for saying that. It is very amazing. Evie, thanks. I appreciate that. Ashley as well. I'll be sure to let her know that everybody loved her work, but you guys can tell her yourself. Go and find her at Legend of Midna on Instagram. Check out the bio at High Sierra Tattoo Co.'s Instagram. Follow Midna. Check her out. She's on her path to doing great things, no doubt. Hopefully take over for me one day. To see here. Jennifer's saying definitely movies to make you think again about bears and wolves. Have you seen The Remnant or The Gray? I've never seen The Gray. I should look into that. But The Revenant is what you're talking about, I believe. Maybe autocorrect. The Revenant. Yeah, that's a grizzly. We're not going to encounter those in California. Mostly, you're not going to encounter those in America. At least not in the 48, the lower 48. You're going to maybe get them in Alaska only, or Canada. Maybe some in Montana and northern states, but you're not going to get them here. Those motherfuckers will kill you. They will eat you. Their heads are bigger than your bodies. They're much bigger than you think and way more aggressive than you give them credit. They're no small thing, and you are not going to carry a handgun to stop one of those. You have to be prepared for one of those. So in our Sierras, I carry swords, I carry knives. Sometimes I carry firearms, but most of the time I'm not too worried about it. If I went to Alaska, you are not going to that brush without something for protection. It sounds like it's pouring down rain outside. That's cool. Okay, so everybody knows the movie. That's cool. It's a terrible movie. Danbury is saying she has never seen it. You're not missing anything. That's for sure. Well, in my opinion, you're not. People might be mad at me for saying that, but the imagery is cool. It's B kind of rated stuff. It's just, I don't know. It is what it is. I don't care for the movie, but the imagery is awesome. A lot of movies are like that. Like Hellraiser makes for a better tattoo than a movie, in my opinion. It, the original, makes for a really good tattoo, but not a great movie. So sometimes it's just cult classic stuff that's just better to see as images than it is in that way. Okay, so there's a whole extra set of questions I did not get to, which I won't be able to have time to get to now. I'm sure you guys will appreciate that and respect it, but I'll be back to it again. I'd like to just converse with you for a little bit while you're on here. If you guys have any questions regarding any of this stuff, if there's anything we talked about tonight you want to know more about, since you're watching me and I'm not watching you, I'm just responding to you. Join me, guys. Let's get fucking spicy. Show me what's up. Talk to me. Let me know where you guys are calling from, watching from. Long-time listeners, no-time callers. You know, most of my responses to most questions are bring cash if it has to be tattoo related. Bring money and be serious about your appointments. Be serious about your tattoos and be prepared to schedule something. And people will take you serious if you take them serious. Other than that, we're getting into the sort of outdoorsy, woodsy stuff that I fucking love. So if you guys want to keep conversing about it, ask questions. If there's something you want to know more about or hear more in depth or thought I didn't really touch on the response as well as I could, ask away before we jump on here, or I'm sorry, off here. I guess we're all jumping on here right now, but it's an hour 45 and it feels like 20 minutes for me. It's getting late. I can hear the rain pouring down outside and it's amazing. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. So, and yes, Ashley is saying she's very talented. Absolutely. It's absolutely amazing. There we go. Brody Jade, 601 West Shaw.
No, God!
601 West Shaw. I like to say it like that because you know what, guys? You know what happens is you start to memorize it. You go, hey, where's your shop? And I'm like, 601. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. 601 West Shaw. Because I fucking say it all the time. So you guys know this now. Just like you know Linda, just like you know me, just like you know the shop. Don't know the phone number, but you can Google that shit. I don't even know the phone number. You guys want to call the shop? Google it. Ashley's saying, how much cash should we bring? You know what? How about you just
Give me your fucking money!
So just bring all the cash you can. Actually, that's really not a bad question. I don't know how serious you're being with it, but I'll answer it. A really good question because some people don't know, and that's true. So for me personally, I'm a $200 an hour person when it comes to color and $150 for black and gray. I do give discounts to people that are active or retired military. And I also give discounts. It's usually 20%, maybe sometimes more, depends on the work. I've also started giving discounts to people who are laborers, construction workers, or anybody who works with their hands, anybody who's in a sort of labor related field, whether it be construction workers, firefighters, ditch diggers, any union type jobs, that kind of thing. I also give dedicate the discounts to them, not just to the people who fight for our country, the people who also build our fucking country and break their backs out there. So I give discounts to them. So often it's a little less than $200 an hour. Anyways, that is, if you have any questions about that, you can ask or inquire more. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory. $200 for color, $150 for black and gray. The rest of the shop is $150 minimum hourly. So if you want a 3-hour tattoo, you can do the math. If it's color, it's $200 an hour. It's $600. And you know, it just depends on what you're wanting, depending on the style. If it's a portrait, it could take a really long time. Matter of fact, this one, I'll jump back on here. This one that I did right here. Sorry, this one that Midna did. I wish I did. This actually looks like shit I would do, but maybe even a little better, more photorealistic. This girl is fucking wizard, man. She's getting really good really quick. But this type of work takes a long time. You know, there's pretty much the whole fucking rainbow in here. I can't think of a color that's actually not in here besides maybe a true purple. But she's got the whole color palette out and lots of time and skill to be able to pull something like this off. This is not easy work. This is not common. This is not day one type stuff for people. This is very advanced and very special to be able to get. So you better bring a lot of money if you want some shit like this. That being said, I would say for me, you know, I don't really tattoo people for less than 3 or 4 hours. So if it's a $200 an hour, you know, session for color, it's 4 hours, then, you know, you can do the math, and that's really going to be it. Really good root beer. I'm loving this. This is great. Thank you for clarifying. I was 100% serious. So there you go. I hope that answers it perfectly. Jennifer's saying, do you make people pay up front? What if someone didn't have the money after a tattoo? It's only happened to me maybe once or twice, Jennifer. I've been doing this for a very long time. Typically, we all make people pay deposits. My deposit is $200 to $500, depending on how many appointments we set for this, for our projects. But that $200 to $500 goes away if you don't show up, or I at least have it in case you don't want to pay. But we also scan IDs. We have your ID on file. It's for health record purposes, but you know, if anything were to happen, that would be pretty stupid. Someone would have to go pretty far out of their way to try to scam us. And even then, you know, I don't think most people are bad people. Most people are good people, and I'm not that worried about it, to be honest. I think I give people the benefit of the doubt. If once in a blue moon it kicks you in the ass, I'd rather live as if people were good than worry about the one person. Worry about everybody in hopes that I'll catch that one person. If that makes sense. She's asking for a friend. Ashley's saying, I want you to do my tattoo on my hip. It's not small, and I want it black and white. Black and white's awesome. I will tell you this, though. It's very rare that I do anything besides portraits or realism. Like today I did a traditional piece on an old veteran. I say old, he's like 70, so I can say that. Yes, 70 is old. Let it go, guys, for you people out there that are pushing it. He's a wonderful dude, and he wanted a traditional piece, so I hooked him up today. I don't usually do that. It's usually portraits, realism, or really big pieces that are graphic and detailed. If it's not like that, then I probably won't be doing it. Davria is saying, I need more clothes, so I'll be there to collect in a few weeks. Perfect. Ashley, you sent me a picture. Cool. I'll take a look at it. If you guys want an appointment, how you do it is really simple. I made a website called highsierratattooco.com, highsierratattooco.com. Go to the comment. You're in the comments. Go to the contact section and submit the form that's there for you that I built so that you can give me your information. highsierratattooco.com. Go to the menu, go into the contact, fill it out, and then we will respond via email through there. And that's how we set it up, whether it's appointments, scheduling payments, or even making consultations. That's how I handle it. Anybody who messaged me saying, how do I get a tattoo? I just send them there anyway. I have all my assistants, work on that throughout the day. So we try our best to get back to you in a timely manner. So that's pretty much it. That's how you go about it. Jane Beer said, what's your best April Fool's prank? I don't have one. I don't know. Fuck. I've kind of gotten off the prankster. It's fucking amazing. The bandwagon. I don't have any good ones anymore. If you guys have them, fucking shoot them my way because I'm going to need them. But I really don't know. I don't think I have any. I mean, I've had lots of them pulled on me, but I don't know that I have any offhand. So Evie is also saying, I love my black and white you did. So awesome. That was actually a really cool piece. Very interesting. Also a hit piece, and that was a lot of fun. Black and gray is a lot of fun. You can get a lot done and pack a lot of detail into a black and gray piece. So I really enjoy that. Dan Beer is saying, I have 0 tattoos. I have issues with compliments. It's interesting. I think the only reason people have issues with compliments is because they only think about themselves in those moments. So the best way to get compliments and to receive them when you get them is to stop thinking about yourself and think about others, and think about how nice it is for them to be able to express how they feel, and to appreciate that they are doing so. And I usually do that. Try not to think about me. When somebody gives me a compliment, it's not about me, it's about them. When someone likes my work and says it's great, it's not about me, it's about them. And I think that's a really good way for us to see compliments. When people say that you're beautiful, or you look good today, or I really like your hair, or your tattoos are great, or whatever is about you is great, try to think of it as their way of feeling good about expressing themselves. I would never shut that down, and I always like to encourage it. Even if it's not, don't take it personal at all. Take it as their, expressing their position to said expression. Evie saying, itching for another, so book a massage. That I fucking need for sure. That I need for sure. I'll message you ASAP. Sheldon's asking, have you seen Cocaine Bear? I'm assuming you're fucking watching Cocaine Bear in your van up in the mountains right now, Sheldon. That's awesome. Good for you. I would actually love to be there. That would be a lot of fun. Yes, we park our vans next to each other, and yes, we go camping together, and yes, we're like fucking twins. I love it. Damer says, no, it looks hella dumb. I feel like I would lose brain cells. I think it's supposed to actually be exactly that. My kids want to watch it. Great. I've done a wonderful fucking job as a father. My kids want to watch it, so maybe I have to do that. Let's see here. Dabria, okay, that makes way more sense. Sorry, not compliments. Commitments. See, I thought you were saying you don't have any tattoos because you didn't want people to compliment you about them, because that does actually happen too. So good thing I touched on the compliments, because that when it came up ahead, you spelt it right. But the commitments, yeah, that's a big one. I don't know if you're bad at commitments. Maybe you just aren't interested in tattoos. Fun fact, I'm going to piss some of you guys off right now, or at least let some of you down maybe, or just say something that's going to rattle you. And this is just me being honest about myself. I prefer, like people have asked me before, do you find tattoos attractive? I would prefer a woman who I find attractive to have 0 tattoos. That's a preference. I'm not saying that because you should or shouldn't obviously give a shit about what I like in regards to what you're going to do in your life. Obviously you do you, but I just think it's interesting that, sometimes people think they have to get a tattoo, but in my opinion, I think you should not get a tattoo, especially if you're a woman. I think it's wonderful if you're a girl who has 0 tattoos. It's a fucking wonderful thing. So I'm typically not attracted to women with lots of tattoos. I don't find it attractive. It doesn't mean they're unattractive. I would just always prefer them if I had a choice to not have any. That's just my personal opinion. So don't ever feel pressured to get one just because people do what's cool, or even because you're on here, or support me. I know you've bought my merch. You've been in the shop. You've, been a part of the gang for a little while, and you've been here in the comments, and you submit lots of questions, and I appreciate it. I don't think that necessarily means you have to get a tattoo just out of it for any reason other than if you really wanted one. I'm the last person to talk somebody into it. I don't necessarily think it's for everybody. Let's see here. Okay, Amanda's signing off. Good night, everyone. Hope you all sleep well. Good night, Amanda. Thanks for joining us. It is getting late. It's been 1 hour and 56 minutes. Seems like the questions are getting a little thin now, so that's good, because I'm going to have to leave you guys and let you also rest, although I could fucking do this forever. Speaking of doing it forever, I think we should schedule a marathon. I don't know who would be down. I don't know at all if anybody would be down. I'll probably be the last man standing, but I think that would be fun. Maybe like a 24-hour. Fuck, that would be rough. But it would be kind of fun just to see if we could do it. A 24-hour live stream. Anyway, I've already kept you guys for 2 hours. So imagine that, times 10 or more. I don't know if we could hang. I know I could, but I don't know if you guys could. You might actually watch me physically fall asleep on camera. Jennifer saying, it takes me at least a year to finalize a tattoo, so no rush. Yeah, sit on it. If you don't, if it doesn't matter to you later, then trash the idea. But guys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, family, friends, cohorts, strangers, weirdos, stalkers, and all of you in the background that aren't commenting but are watching, or whether it's a later date and we're not live anymore. Thanks for being on here and supporting me. This is episode 44 with Joshua Ray Farmer, your host. And you guys getting spicy in the comments, I fucking love it. Not only should you get spicy in the comments, you guys, but you can submit responses as well. We're going to be doing a lot more with this, actually, with the set behind me. I actually plan on building a nice little podcast spot for even guests, not just me. So I plan on using this quite a bit more. You guys can look forward to that, of course. I keep promising it, but it will happen. Give me time. I got a lot going on. So if you guys are interested in some of the future stuff or even submitting, guys, do not be afraid to email us. don't be afraid to call us, call the shop, DM us, slip into the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the comments. If you guys have any input, whether it's input for the show, input for things you'd like to see more of, or further questions or responses, whatever it may be. I love your input to find out what it is you guys get out of this, but also what you might want to see out of this. I would like to start doing other segments. I have some really cool ideas in the works that I've helped with some of the assistants I have at work at the shop. So things I want to build in the future and shows that I want to create for you guys, but also for me. I'm just creating the things I really enjoy and that I like and that I believe want to come to life. One of the things, for example, to give you a little insight is I love talking to older folks, especially people who've served in the military, people who've seen our world's history, people who've been part of American history. You can almost say a dying breed of people that are not just because they're old, but because old-fashioned ways and I say conservative ways and traditional ways are slowly eroding. We all see that. We all know it. We all feel it. Some of us, have different opinions about all that and what to do about it. But I just love to share stuff like that. Like today, I tattooed a 70-plus-year-old man who's a Vietnam vet, combat engineer, Mark. And it's so awesome to do this, to tattoo him, to hear his stories, to hear him talking about his stories and where he was and how much it means to him. How honored he was to serve our country, even though he's getting shot at and, bombs flying his way. He was doing his job as a young 18-year-old boy, to be part of this wonderful country of ours. So I love to share those stories, and it's very much tied into tattoos. It's very much tied into what I do and what I believe in my culture around my shop and the people I work with. So hence the name of this show is just Artistic Freedom, right? Just recently named it that, or at least adopted that name. I've had that name for a while and finally accepted it. Artistic Freedom really is about that. It's about the art. It's about the creativity and the people who make the art and creativity and who partake in such things, whether you're on the receiving end or the creative end, whether you're a customer or an artist, as well as the freedom part. Not just literally having artistic freedom on what we do, but also the freedom to do what we want. Is the path is paved by men and women who serve our country, men and women who build our country, from the people who make the bridges and the roads and keep the lights on to the people that fight for our ability to have the freedoms we have and the way of life we have. That's always constantly under attack and under threat. I'm not trying to get political. I'm just saying some of the things that I love and hold dear to me are those things. So you can expect more of them. So having these older folks on the show, I think would be a really great way. And some of them have said yes so far, so we can expect to see that. But having them tell some of their stories and share with you guys and partake in this sort of new digital format, as well as this new sort of digital world, if you will, to get them almost documented in a way, right? Like making videos about them, doing interviews with them. You guys might even know some of these people, which would be really awesome as a suggestion for me to have the opportunity to meet these people and to talk to them, especially, like I said, veterans, whether they're active or retired, whatever it may be. Or maybe you have some stories about them. Those are the things I love to share. Matter of fact, my number one most viewed YouTube video is a sailor's tattoo. And it's about my cousin who just finally retired from the Navy as a Master Chief, and hearing some of the stories that he shares in that video, as well as just the tattoos and the stories behind him. That's the kind of stuff you can expect here in the show. And I really want to bring more of that to you guys. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you look forward to it. I do thank you all. I really appreciate it. And if you're ever interested, like I said, in the marathon and the future episodes, just stay tuned, man. Subscribe. You guys are all on YouTube right now. So just look at it as, you guys are part of the team. You're helping me do this. I'm, appreciative of you. And if you guys can give me that input and some of those suggestions and, keep connected with me, I appreciate it. You guys know that. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a good night. And that's it. Episode 44, Joshua A. Farmer of Artistic Freedom is done. 45 will be next. See you guys next Wednesday. Have a good night. Much love. Peace out.